Right, so thanks so much for staying there. I had already begun the discussion with the Deputy Local Government Minister there, but let me tell you this before we go. Now, in March, President Mahama directed that the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development do something about street naming. Now, that was at the launch of the Urban Policy Framework and Action Plan to implement the street naming within 8 months. But some governance experts think that the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies may not be able to do the work they've been asked to do in 18 months. And Eva Osei, a governance expert, is one of them. Let's listen. I'll come back to the studio.
It may take more than the 18 months depending on the particular district and the commitment and the cooperation of the stakeholders within the district. If they want to make this political, it will not work. So they will have to make sure that they identify the right skills. Even the people who have to go around doing the enumeration, marking of the walls and all that, they should get skills like good handwriting, people who can understand the perception and can get people to tell them about who owns the house, about what is the type of land use, and can fill questionnaires and get this data fixed for them, and then also get people educated on the use and the benefits of this process. We say so because looking at the capacities within districts we have in Ghana, they differ. In fact, we work with 5 districts. We can confidently say that Christia Huni Valley finished about 3 months ago, but they were able to collect their data way back June last year. For BBNE and Hwanso district, they were also able to go through by September last year, they were done. If the district don't release the funds, if they don't want to make this attractive for people to buy in, it will not work and it delays the process, no matter the sponsorship they get from outside.
Right, my guest in the studio is Mr. Emmanuel Kwadwo Agyekum. He's the Deputy Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Welcome to News at 10.
Thank you very much.
Now, Madam Eva thinks that the MMDAs may not be in a position to implement what the President is asking them to do.
Right, thank you very much. First of all, what he said is may not. But I want to say that it's possible and definitely we're going to do it. Let me also say that we don't still have even 18 months. We rather have 17 months
less
to
than
go
18 months,
to
right,
implement this whole street naming system. And I confidently believe that we'll be able to do it. Let me also say that it's not just the directives of using 18 months or the remaining 17 months to do it, but rather we also have an agreement with His Excellency, that is performance-based agreement with His Excellency, to be able to deliver this in this period of time that has been given to us.
Let's talk about it. As you said, we have 17 months, and but I want us to go back. The whole idea of house naming, street name, house numbering, street naming, how important is it?
Right, the benefits, I should say, is enormous. Because when we want to talk about street naming and this numbering system, we also talk about revenue as well. It's going to give us a lot of revenue. Apart from that, it gives us productivity as well. Somebody may be around trying to locate TV3 for more than an hour or so. That person would have been able to get to TV3 and do something. So productivity is another thing that we have to look at. Also quality of doing things and even quality of doing business in the system is also something that is very important that we have to look at.
But some would argue that, look, our streets are not in good shape, our drainage is bad, and you're talking about naming houses, numbering houses, and naming streets. They don't care about the names of the street. Do they really care?
They do really care, especially those who understand the whole system and the benefits that it will bring to the system. Sure, some of our streets are not good. I understand that, and I know that the streets some are not good.
If the road to my house is in a bad shape, my house is numbered, how does it benefit me?
But the point is, you can also have an asphalt road, whereas somebody is coming to you and it takes an hour or two for the person to be able to get there.
You'll call me by phone.
The person will call you by phone, but you know you're also going to lose money in saying that, look, you've got to go to this place, turn right, left, go here. You may probably be on phone for some time, whereas if you probably have your TomTom or something, you could just click your TomTom and the TomTom takes you there. So we talk about productivity as well. Why do we have to have people walk into the post office to go and collect letters and all those? Whereas somebody can walk to your door and drop a letter for you to, read it. So I think there are a lot of benefits that we have to look at.
Let me ask you this. Now, in the past, what you're talking about was there. When we were growing up, we saw postmasters walking around delivering letters,
Sure.
parcels. What happened? Why did we lose that? How can we recover?
Probably I would not be able to say much about how we lost that or where we stopped. Says that it's easy for us to do it. We can recover, we can put in our street names, we can have auto photos that will be there for people to just get into it. We can just give it to satellite for people to have GPS access to get to our areas, and I think it's something that can easily be done.
Is it that easy? The way you're talking about
it is. It
very
is
easy in
it
Accra, Choco,
it is.
Nima, Mamobi, where you can easily walk into somebody's bedroom.
Sure, we've looked into all these things, like where we'll have problems, because spatial planning is another thing that people will say that, look, when you go to, I shouldn't say Nima Mamobi, let's say in Kranza, for example, somewhere at a particular area where we have areas which were not well planned, yet we have a system whereby we believe that if we have our auto photos there, if we have the satellite system, we have all this system put in place, yes, the structures are there. We'll be able to locate them via satellite and strike things straight. I think it's possible. It's something that, if I look at the whole thing, putting up the committees, collecting data, doing signal mapping and all those things, I think it's something. I mean, let me also say that it's a process.
Right.
It's not an event.
So that even we need a 17-man, we can still go on and get things properly done.
Sure, because if you look at the street naming, let's say we have finished with the whole of TV3, and tomorrow TV3, they've made an extension somewhere. We quickly up to update our system and get it in. And the reason why I'm saying is a process is that you may also want to delete, or you may also want to take something out of the whole naming system.
Maybe some road changes here and there.
Exactly. In that case, you have to come to the drawing board. The same process that we've gone through, you cannot just go and change the name of a street. You have to come to the committee for them to approve, for you to be able to change a street name and all those things. So it's a process which will be, evaluated, which we will make sure we improve it. We'll have what we call a continuous improvement system.
Let's talk about this. One basic problem we have with our projects in this part of the world is supervision, monitoring. Let's look at the local government ministry, the MMDAs. Now, in this particular project, how is the link being done? Who is watching? Who is monitoring?
Right. I said, first of all, that what makes this thing very serious is that my boss, the Minister for Local Government, has a performance agreement with His Excellency, the President of this country. And we are also going to have a subsidiary performance agreement with the MMDAs.
Right.
Because my boss ought to make sure that this thing is done within that period of time in a quality way. And the implementing agencies are the MMDAs. So we also have to have a subsidiary performance agreement with them. What I'm trying to say is that monitoring will come from top to down. The local government services, the local government ministry, we will have a monitoring system that will be looking down to make sure that the districts, the Metropolitan, the Municipal Assemblies who are implementing this, then there will be a committee actually set up in all these areas who people specifically assigned to make sure it happens. Because we will recruit people who will go out there to go and take data. They will bring it, then we put it on our database. And when we put it on our database, we'll take photographs as well, which is not the ordinary photographs that people take. We call it the auto photos. whereby there won't be any defect or whatsoever. If you check it on the internet, the kind of pictures that we have.
It's the same that you see when you get there.
Exactly. That can be, I mean, fixed on the satellite system, whereby you can easily see that this, I quite remember in Germany when I was schooling, sometimes I asked my family to go out of my house for me to look at Google Earth, where they are, so that I can locate where they are. So I think we'll get there. It's something that I see to be possible if we are able to, I mean, go according to the line that we are taking now. My brother will strike it.
So you're talking about 17 months and beyond. What can we achieve in 17 months?
Right. We can, for example, in the 17 months, we should be able to have most, if not all streets named. If not all, at least most of our streets named. Most of our streets, you can click somewhere to see that number 1 Agyekum Street is here. Most of our streets, you can probably get on the internet, or you can get somewhere, click and you see that Kranza, let's say Kisiman is here, for you to be able to look at it via, I mean, the internet, or to go walk in there at the assembly and you say, I'm looking at this particular property. Where is it? And you on a click of a mouse, they could be able to tell you that, look, the property is here. Just go drive the next 1 mile, turn right on the Benson Street, or go across Street or Katechie Street. Then you walk in there, number 5 or Katechie Street. You go there. This is, let's say, TV3.
Right.
Very easy.
So in 17 months, we should be able to have this.
Definitely, sure, we're going to do it.
And when we have this in place, that's over 17 months, what we have done remains there and it's being used.
The reason is going to be there because we'll have it saved. It will be on computers. There will be several backups. There will be people manning it every day, daily, making sure that it's being updated. We have the right data, we have the right things going on, we have the right services going on. So it will be there. And let me say that it's not just the MMDA levels. We also consolidate all the data that we have in the various district and municipal and metropolitan assemblies to have a national address system database as well, whereby people can also access it easily. So it's not just going to be somewhere you go to Edra or Tichman and you see something and it's a one-day wonder. But
let's begin to wrap up with the issue of revenue generation by MMDAs when this project perhaps is completely on the ground. You're not happy about the way MMDAs are making money?
It's something that's actually our ministry, we're going to look at it critically. It's not just about, mostly when this argument comes out, people talk about just generating the funds, but we're also going to look at the utilization of the funds as well. You know, the monies are there. It's not like the monies are not there. I was a municipal chief executive.
Right.
So I know the monies are there. It's left with us to go.
The assemblies have the money.
Oh, no.
They need to go and take it.
They need to go and take it.
What is missing is taking it.
Exactly. Taking it and making sure it has been taken and it is going to the right place, and also making sure it is properly being utilized. Because there are people out there who don't even know that they have to go and pay property rates.
And yet the assembly is sitting there and talking about being broke.
And they said that we don't have money. And there are people out there who even don't know that, look, the monies that are being collected are being used for this. But let me tell you, I was trying to explain something to somebody. I said, service delivery, the quantity and quality of service delivery will be based